With data integration, you can perform integration tasks using an easy-to-navigate interface that supports and conforms to how you work. You can define file-based and direct integration sources, create mapping rules to translate source data into the required target format, and execute and manage the periodic data loading process. In this fourth part of a series of videos, you see how to call a Groovy rule to load data. In the other videos in this series, you see how you can use data integration to complete additional tasks. You can use Groovy to call an API to retrieve rates used for mortgages, leases, loans, certificates of deposit, etc. from sources such as the Federal Reserve Bank. The pipeline runs an API that pulls both historic rates and future rates and loads them to the target. You can see the loaded rates on a form. Let's look at an example of a Groovy rule that is used to populate the rate tables by executing the pipeline called update rates. You have to include an API key. There is a start and end date. The connection, FRED, is referenced. FRED is the Federal Reserve Economic Data Site. This script is used to make the call to the Federal Reserve Economic Site using parameters provided in the Groovy rule. A data load request is created and referenced. Then the script cycles through all the records for each rate and loads those records into the database. A pipeline is defined that calls the business rule that uses the Groovy code to make the call to the source data. You can run the pipeline or schedule it to run on a regular basis. Let's run the job. Ensure that the job completed successfully. You can receive a notification via email when the job is complete. Now let's see how this works within a form. The form shows all rates used for mortgages, leases, loans, and certificates of deposit. Your administrator can set up a form that includes a right-click menu to update the rates. The option to update rates runs a business rule. After the rule is run, all historical future and historical rates are updated in one step. You can update rates on demand with the form, or you can schedule rates to be updated by scheduling the business rule to run on a regular basis, or including the business rule within a pipeline. Let's look at another example within a form. On this form, you can update either historical data or future data using the appropriate menu. Your administrator can set up a right-click menu to read data from a government site and reload that data into the application. Right-click and select Update Futures. The data is read from the government site and loaded into the application. To obtain information about the specific data, you right-click the metric name and select Drill to Source. A browser tab is opened with all the historical details for the metric. Keep in mind that you can drill to a URL back to the FRED site. The form context is picked up and the member names are referenced in the URL. When you select to drill, the URL is launched, and then any parameters in the URL are replaced with values from the form. For a more detailed explanation about using Groovy and REST to connect to external sources, see the Customer Connect session, EPM using Groovy and REST to connect to external sources. The link to the Customer Connect session is in the description. You can take a look at other videos in this series. To learn more, visit docs.oracle.com.